Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. My name is Cody Vondell, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to create a Y2K era Vectorheart graphic. In this instance, is going to be used for a concert poster. Before we get started, just wanted to say thank you all so much for being a part of my channel, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting. I recently created a free vector template, over 75 Y2K style icons that you can download and save using your own graphics. And if you're working along in these videos, make sure to hop on our Discord. We recently hit 160 members on our server. We have everything from experienced seasoned graphic designers to people who are just dipping their toes into design and working up the courage to share stuff for the first time. And that takes a whole lot of courage. So shout out to all of you who are submitting your work. Let's take a second and look at some of the work that people have been submitting really quick. As usual, you guys are crushing it, and I greatly appreciate the fact that you're submitting artwork for me to look at and to show off, and it's just helping build this community, so thank you so much for hopping on our Discord. If you want to support my channel, make sure to head over to my Etsy, where you can find all kinds of cool holographic stickers. And if you like my intro, outro, background music, I create it all, so make sure to look up Cody Vondell on Spotify or your preferred streaming service. You can also find me on SoundCloud or Bandcamp. And of course, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's going to be at Cody Vondell. Today's video comes with a free template, free Vectorheart template. Nothing too over the top, but as I was creating these shapes in Illustrator to bring them over into Photoshop, I started looking at them thinking, you know what? I'm sharing these with my friends. So that's the plan. Link is in the description after the video. Go download these things and come up with something on your own, and make sure to share it in our Discord. All right, so we are getting started. This is the free Vectorheart template that you can download. Link is in the description. And just to point out what we're doing right now, we're just using our pen tool to kind of create these shattered bits. It's really simple. We're just going in here and taking the pen tool and just drawing out little things that look cool. We'll maybe add one or two more little pieces right here. Obviously, this is not going to be part of the template. This is just kind of showing you the steps that I'm using to get these. It's very simple, just pen tool. And one other cool thing that we can do afterwards, we'll add one more little shard kind of coming off there. That looks cool. And we just take all these and kind of round out the corners, do some cool stuff with that. So it still has that kind of broken look, but soft edges. That looks cool. But yeah, that's basically how we're getting the vector objects that we're going to be using today. So let's go ahead and start out in Photoshop. And we've got our Cadence logo. The text that we're going to be using is Fat Sands, and of course the Flash logo for the club that it is at. So we're going to go ahead and bring in one of these vector shapes. Actually, we're going to clone this background really quick, just so I know I'm going to need a clone of it at one point. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Cool. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to rotate everything to -5. So there's things aren't going to be presented bit on. They'll be tilted just a little bit. That's a popular thing in the Vectorheart styles, so we wanted to use that here. So we're just going to go ahead and write out our artist name, Tim Reaper. And bring this logo down a little bit. We'll be adding all the details from whenever I'm doing these client projects, they always send over, an email with all the information. So I just copy out all the copy that I'm going to need, and usually put it in like a text document or something. But in this case, we're just using an extra text layer. So here are all of our names, and that's our information. We're just going to play around with this and make it look cool. Add some space in here. So the Fat Sands font doesn't have some of the like plus signs and slashes and stuff that we're going to need. So we're just going to find another font that'll work for those. It doesn't have to be anything too over the top. That works. So that's looking cool. Put like maybe a color overlay or something on it. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, actually, I think we'll make it white with a thick black stroke. I think that'll look cool. Something along those lines. That's looking all right for now. And we'll give that the -5 tilt that everything else is on. Cool, cool. That's looking about right. All right, so we're gonna change out, so I misspelled Tim Reaper, so now it is correctly spelled. And we are going to clone that Tim Reaper layer, bring it down, and do that one more time so that we can get the other headliners for that show. So just our basic stuff. It's not looking too fun yet, but it is going to be looking pretty cool pretty soon. Just got to get our information done first. Ornette Hawkins, that's our second act. And just getting all their information written out. I don't know how that one's pronounced. Champagon? I don't know. Cool, so now we're just going to copy out everybody's associations, labels, all that kind of stuff, location, all that. Transmute, beat machine. Switched over fonts on us. That was not supposed to happen. But that's what happens when you're using a font that doesn't come with all the extra little pieces. You'll use it from another font, and the next thing you know, you're writing in the other font. So that's okay. That happens sometimes. This guy is from Metropolis. So we'll just spell that out real quick. Cool. And finally, transmute and beat machine. We'll just highlight that and change out the text real quick. Transmute and beat machine. And then we'll just copy that and paste it so it doesn't screw up our fonts. Nice. And we can get rid of that one. Cool, so that is pretty much all the information that is necessary for this one. We're gonna try to get this sort of centered looking right. We'll bring this over a little bit. That is looking cool. So now it's time to start bringing in our Vectorheart shapes. The first thing we're going to do is put a shape back here between these two layers. Kind of tilt it a little bit. And because it's, you know, vector shape, we don't have to actually tilt it the exact same way that all the text is going to need to be at the exact same angle. They're all tilted at -5. But the vector shapes you can kind of do whatever you want with, so we're just getting creative and having a fun time with it. Something around there is looking right. It's feeling comfortable, almost. Something like that. Yeah, I'd say about right there is looking cool. And we'll just move this background copy up in front of it. That's what I was planning on using that copy for, was something along these lines to separate our space. Next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and drop our, we kind of have like a outline around the whole thing, which looks pretty cool. And because we have that second layer, the outline's kind of interrupted in that bottom right hand corner, and that looks cool in my opinion because you will see what we fill in that space with. You can get a few of these little chunks. We don't need everything, so we'll just break this apart, ungroup it. And I think that's all we need is just this little piece right here. And we'll get it scaled up and sized correctly, get it feeling pretty comfortable. And then we're actually gonna change the color on this one so that we have like a nice evenly distributed black, white, yellow. Maybe a little bit too black right now, but now we've got that white in there, that's looking cool. Something about this feels like Jet Set Radio meets Crazy Taxi. I don't know, that's just the vibe I'm getting. Here's another free vector template that you can download that I created, and that's where we're gonna get our little arrow from. And yeah, we're just going to bring that arrow up. We're gonna put on some layer styles, turn it to the same yellow that we're using, put the stroke on, and the arrows will actually, we'll give it that -5 tilt that we've used on a lot of the text. we're just gonna free transform, scale a little bit, -5 right up there, perfect, looking cool. And maybe a little too big, so might have to scale it down just a little bit. Something about right there. Just feeling comfortable, something like that. Yeah, I think that's it. Very nice, very nice. And we'll copy this guy. So we have 2 arrows, not just one. I'd say that's feeling comfortable right there. Keep on doing that. I'm trying to select one layer and do something else. So club level, I forgot to include that earlier. So we're going to clear out the layer style. Come over here and grab these little dots and make them just a little bigger. We'll give them that same tilt, -5. Nice. It's looking cool. And then we will drop the club level and the dots kind of right underneath cadence, and we'll make them even smaller so that they fit comfortably and snug right there in that space that we've kind of carved out. And we might actually make this whole thing just a tiny bit smaller too, including cadence. Just finessing a little bit at this point, just kind of getting everything feeling comfortable. I think that's looking pretty cool. So now we've cloned this arrow. We're just gonna make it a little bit smaller. And now we have 2 arrows, a black one and a yellow one. I think something like that is looking cool. And now we're just gonna bring these names down a little bit so that we get sort of part of the stuff that's hanging off the arrow, making it feel more aerodynamic. We want that to be visible. So this is looking pretty comfortable now. That top half is really crushing it, but the bottom is very boring. So let's innovate and make something cool happen there. Back to the vector template and the Vectorheart template specifically, we're gonna grab, what can we grab? Maybe we can grab that again and just do something slightly different with it this time, where we showed the bottom part on our last version of it. Maybe we can use that top part, and that ought to create something cool. I think I made that maybe a little too big, but we'll just kind of get it around the space that we kind of want it to fill in, and then we can kind of rotate it and scale it up, scale it down, make it feel sort of like what we want it to feel like. We'll push that back, something like that. It's looking pretty cool. Still feels maybe a little big, but I think it's all about the placement. Where we end up putting it is going to determine whether or not we need to make it any smaller or whatnot. I think that's feeling pretty comfortable for now. We'll just leave it there and kind of start playing with this text a little bit. I think we're going to bring in one more sort of a metal heart chunk, vector heart chunk, whatever you want to call it. Actually, really quick, we're going to clone these arrows. And to do that, we're going to rotate them back to where they began. So if it's at -5, you just put in 0, and it'll be right back to where we started. Now we're going to flip it, turn it around, and give it that same -5 tilt. So that's looking really comfortable. That's looking really cool. We are really starting to take shape. I'm pretty excited about that. And finally, well, let's bring this up. There we go. Something like that. Cool. Yeah, now we're really starting to feel cool. I like this. That is where I wanted it to be. We just need to maybe bring this icon down some or something. I don't know. It's getting there. It's all about the finessing and the just, playing around with things until it starts feeling right. So it's getting there. Definitely getting there. I'm gonna make this all a little bit smaller text. Something like that's feeling pretty cool to me. I like that. What else do we need to do? Scoot this text over just a little bit. I think that's cool. And yeah, we're just finessing, just making things feel really comfortable. We've got the general layout is there now. We just gotta tighten stuff up. So this is looking really comfortable, really cool. And what else are we gonna add? I think we need one more instance of the same Vectorheart piece, but this time we'll keep it black. We'll put it down here in the corner, and we'll kind of show off that top left corner of the actual vector shape itself. So something along those lines. Rotate it a little bit, maybe scale it down a little bit, something like that. Just so we get a little bit more of the breaking apart action that's going on there. That feels cool, something like that. Yeah. All right, so this is really starting to feel near complete. One other thing I want to do is add some like sort of halftone patterns in the background, and to do that, we'll probably just pull it from another flyer I did for this group. Let's go ahead and get the flash icon situated and feeling comfortable. Bring this up just a little bit. Maybe push it back some. Something like that. That works. And of course, we're gonna sign it. I always try to put my name on stuff that I design so that when people see it, if they like it, they know where to go for more. So, just gonna get rid of that and say flyer by Cody Von Dell and put a little @ symbol. And I think the @'s not gonna look as cool in this font, so we'll just kind of change out the font. Something very mainstream there. That's super simple. And yeah, very evocative of the era. Bringing it down a little bit. We might just comfortably squeeze it in. I think something along those lines is looking really cool. This is really feeling close to completion. I can't really think of too much else that I really want to do here other than, you know, just a little bit of finessing here and there. But I really think the only element that's not here yet is the halftone dots. And like I said, we're just going to pull those from another flyer that I recently did, the LTJ Bootcamp flyer, and we'll just change out the layer style. So let's do that really quick. But not until after we, you know, just finesse these little corners and little fine-tuning bits and pieces here. So we've got one layer dropped in. Now we just got to make it feel comfortable. We're just gonna copy it, clone it, whatever you want to call it, and bring it right over here. That's looking cool. And I think we've got a finished flyer at this point. This is looking pretty cool. One extra step that we're going to take today is we're going to do a banner version of the flyer. So they always make a Facebook event for their shows, and they want the same flyer to exist in a slightly different layout. So we are going to take a look at that, but not until after we add our finishing touches. And one thing that I always like to do to give a printed feel to an otherwise digital design is I copy everything. Oops, did that one step ahead. So I copy it all and I merge it all, and then I make a few copies of that merged layer. And I use the filter at 9% and the color halftone at maybe 30 to 40%. And that is how I'm getting sort of a more tangible printed feel on this thing. So it doesn't just feel like, oh, I'm just looking at, you know, digital graphic on a computer screen. This kind of makes it feel more tangible, like, hey, this was like printed out and scanned and archived kind of thing, which is, you know, helps add to the aesthetic of this kind of stuff. And we are going to go ahead now and use this another banner that I did for them recently. This one is for Ronnie Size. Just going to change out the background, make it plain, and then we'll go ahead and start dragging elements that we know we need. And we'll kind of just drag them by order of importance. So we know we're going to need, you know, Cadence, Club Level, Tim Reaper, Ornette Hawkins, Champagon, and all of our information, Flash, and Flyer by me. So we'll go ahead and just grab all those layers and we'll bring them over into our banner document. And for right now, we can just place them there. We're not really all that too worried about getting things looking exactly right. We just want to make sure all of our layers are here. Maybe we could bring this background layer over and use that yellow right here. That'll be nice. And what we can do is we can actually just pull that layer style onto our background layer and kill that layer. We don't need it anymore. Nice. Oh, there we go. Nope, that didn't work. There, that's what we needed. Perfect. Cool. So yeah, this is looking cool. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I think the dimensions in this document fit the idea a little bit better than the typical 8.5 by 11 style. So we're just gonna play around with it a little bit, but I have a feeling like this is gonna almost be an easier solution than the other one. Just the information lends itself to a horizontal kind of layout, in my opinion, really, really well. So we guess we can go ahead and grab the text and the arrows and the flash icon and my name and put all that in this document. And now that all the main important stuff is there, now we can start kind of rearranging and playing with stuff. I think one of the big things I want to do is switch the direction of the arrows. So I think on the other version, the Tim Reaper with the arrow pointed in that direction looks cool, but in this version, I think we're just going to switch out the directions of the layers, or of the arrows. And you'll see what I mean here in just a second. Yeah, I think having like arrow up here or something is going to work cooler. But we're just playing around with it right now. We're gonna have to see. Not positive, but I got a feeling. Our Flash logo is looking cool. What are we trying to do next? Guess we'll get all of these names together. That looks cool. We'll push this back somewhere around here maybe. Yeah. All right, I'm seeing it already. This is it. This is what we're trying to do. So the switching the arrows out was definitely the move. Oops, grab the background instead of the Cadence logo. So now we're just gonna bring this up. We've grouped it so we don't have to grab everything all at once. But yeah, I think this about right here gives us a little bit of space so we can snugly fit Cadence in. That is cool, comfortable. Maybe we're hanging a little bit too close to the bottom of the, like, Metropolis is kind of hanging off there, but we can fix that. Yeah, already looking better. Cool, cool. This was a good idea to switch out the arrows. So what's next? Let's scoot these up just a little bit more. Maybe we'll bring that like the border that we used on the other one over here and kind of turn it sideways and get something cool. Something like that, I would say, is looking nice. Bring these up and over here a little bit. And I have a feeling like these could possibly... Oh, is that it? I think that's it. Oh, that's so comfortable. Damn it, man, that looks so good. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Yeah, like I said, I think just the information and the length of the names and the font that we've chosen, it just looks really good in this horizontal style. Not that it looked bad in the vertical poster, but yeah, something about this banner is just, I'm really feeling the layout over here a lot more. So we can bring these dots right over here. Just adds a little extra layer of something cool. Yeah, maybe right there. I think that's it right there. Yep. Kind of draws the eye right up there to the text. Man, I'm loving this banner version more than I'm loving the original flyer, y'all. What? This doesn't even make sense, but okay. And we'll drag my name and the flash icon somewhere over here and just get them to fit snugly. Maybe that'll work. Maybe right there for my name, something like that. We'll probably come back to that after we get a few of the vector heart shapes in the background. Let's go ahead and save what we've got though. It's always good to save our work. Cool. And yeah, I think it's time. Let's go ahead and bring this this border, whatever you want to call it, outline kind of thing over, and turn it sideways. And honestly, we can just kind of bend this thing and kind of shape it how we want to. Not too worried about. That actually looks totally cool. I love it. Very nice. And we'll bring that up a little bit, maybe not up in front of the arrow, but yeah, something like that. Cadence we can bring up in front of that layer, and maybe we can make it just a hair smaller so it fits comfortably in there. And that little dot right there, there's like a little, just want to fix that. Boom, done. Cool. So I am really feeling this one so far. This I'm kind of amazed at how much. I was thinking it was going to be a harder thing to get it to fit the banner, and for some reason I'm digging the banner more than I'm digging the original poster. Not that I don't like the poster, but the banner just works. So we've brought a couple of our edges over, our vector shapes with the harder edges. At one point I think I was thinking about using like a curved edges or like rounded edges, but nah, that's not the way we wound up working. Cool, so we'll bring these down here and kind of comfortably fit them in. Something like that looks cool. Gosh, man, wow, this just really turned out. It's crazy how good this one turned out. I had to spend some time thinking about the original flyer, but this one has just come together so easily. So loving that. Very happy that this was almost like an effortless extra little piece for the client. And we're just, you know, finessing, getting every little bit, feeling comfortable. Zoomed in right here. And we're going to zoom out a little bit and never mind that little bit of finessing we did. So I think the next thing we'll do is push that up just a little bit, and maybe we'll bring the flash over a tiny bit. So something like that. Yeah, that's feeling pretty comfortable. I like that. Nice. What do we have here? Just some more shapes to figure out what to do with. Maybe, I'm not positive, but maybe we could use a white shape back there instead of a black shape and it would work. Actually, that was kind of working for me. All right, yeah, I'm feeling that. That's looking pretty cool. Maybe not, though. Just dragging stuff around until it speaks to you. You know what I mean? Maybe we can rotate it and see if that does anything for us. No, I think we'll just stick to what we originally had. And you know, I think something like that actually is gonna, that might actually be the way to move. Something like that. That's kind of cool looking. Something along these lines, at least. Maybe you can make it a little smaller. I don't know. Like I said, this is just the trial and error process of the design. Now we've got all the text and it's looking really good, and the layout's looking cool. We're really just, you know, seeing where some of these shapes would fit comfortably in the background. We'll go ahead and put a outline on club level, and we'll make it yellow so it doesn't really feel like an outline. It kind of helps separate the yellows from the whites. That's cool. I'm thinking something along these lines. I don't know exactly, but this is sort of starting to feel nice. And I guess finally we'll just grab some of these halftone dots and we'll bring those over, and I think we've got a finished banner. This may be too much, so we'll hide one of them and just play around with one. Oops, was not meaning to grab that, but it's okay. So what can we do with this? I think something along those lines is looking right. That might be it. I don't really know if we need anything else. That might be the design right there. Actually, that's kind of cool too, though. So yeah, playing around with these two, just trying to figure out which one we're going to use. We are just minutes away from having a final design, though. And not only one final design, we have the same design in both a vertical and horizontal format, so client is totally stoked about it. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to a different fly that I've created, and we're going to pull out a different halftone and just turn the gradient off of that and put it on white, but not until after we drag it over into this document. There we go, there we go, that's looking cool. And we might make it just a little bit larger and tilt it a bit. I think this is almost done. This is looking really cool. Nice. We'll cut that out because I really want to point out that little spiky thing over there. So we'll just cut the halftone right there in that corner. Just finessing it, getting things comfortable. Just trying to free transform and just make the best use of all these dots. Look at all those dots. Cool, cool. So I think this is the version that we are keeping. I think this is it. We're just gonna cut them right out of that right there. Perfect, I love it. I don't think there's anything about this version that I'm not happy with. So I think we'll go ahead and copy all of these layers, and then we'll merge those copies, and then we'll copy that merged version 2 more times. And now we will put the noise on 1 and bring it down to 9% opacity. And we'll put a color halftone at 4, max radius of 4 on, and we'll bring that down to about 35. Done. We are finished, y'all. That is exactly what I wanted to create. So it doesn't always happen like that, but sometimes you just wind up with something that was exactly like you wanted. So I'm very thankful that this one turned out, and you know, we've got 2 different versions of it. I think client's gonna be really happy about it. That's our video for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Other stuff that we've been looking at lately, we have a 3D rotating icon that I did in Element and After Effects that you can check out. We used a really cool Vectorheart style brush kit for Photoshop created by Paul Willix. So make sure to check that out. A really cool virtual tour of a art show that I was part of right before the pandemic started. It's called You Are Here. So make sure to check out all those videos. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking this out. My name is Cody Vondell, and I will see you on our next video. Thank you.